Welcome back to Whiskey Happens. I think this review is long overdue. Today we're talking Wild Turkeys, Russell's 10 year. I don't think you have to say Wild Turkeys. Russell's 10 year.
Yep.
Hit the intro.
As you may know, if you don't, go back and check other videos. We really like Russell's 10, but we've actually never done a review on this, which I think is interesting, Garrett.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to hit more reviews of things that we've just avoided because whatever reason, XYZ. But I am excited to talk about Russell's 10 only because we will be doing something fun and special on our podcast. So be sure to check that out tomorrow. And you'll find out what extracurriculars we had going on. But for today, we are talking about Russell's 10 year, 90 proof. Don't know the recipe. 51% corn, 12% rye, 13% malted. Sound good?
Oh man, if you're on that, that'd be amazing. But if not, you're gonna fix it below, which is fun.
75% corn. That's what it is. Because that didn't even equal 100. Let me know in the comments how close I am.
I was trying to do the math in my head, but
Russell's 10 year is actually something I'm very late to. I have vague memories when we were in college of seeing the bottle that looked closer to Wild Turkey 101 and was actually 101 proof. I believe this was commemorating Jimmy's tenure with Wild Turkey. Again, I should have just looked this stuff up before we started.
No, you're right. Eddie, this is Eddie's blend to his dad to commemorate all the years that Jimmy has been in the industry, and what a immaculate career he's had at Wild Turkey. But yeah, I mean, this whole brand, to be honest with you, the Russell spinoff has hit dingers almost every single time they've released something.
Yeah, so I didn't come in until 2019, 2020, whenever they redesigned it to this bottle and dropped the proof down to 90. And I only picked it up because I was like, oh, I knew Russell's product, which I'm sure all the marketing people in the world are happy that happened, because that's the point, right? If a redesign is to catch people's eyes. Woodford got me the same way with the double oaked. Never touched the bottle before the redesign. But I'm excited. We should just get into the nose here.
Let's do that.
I mean, it's hard not to say corn when it's 75% corn.
Yeah. I mean,
I also want to say there's a rye spice coming out.
That's that nutmeg coming out. So I'm getting nutmeg. I mean, I'm a little off. I'm a little congested this week, but nutmeg, definitely getting more floral notes as well. Like just, it's definitely very heavy on the nose, which is good. Like a lot of people, when you sniff, it's really, you get really sweet. You don't get really sweet. You don't get really like oaky on this. It's just kind of all over the place, in my opinion. And I think that's what gives it that beautiful blend that they've been doing with this. So
let's get into the taste.
Yeah.
Something I noticed right away, and it's probably to its credit, it's how thin on the palate it is. It just comes in and goes out, and not in a bad way. Like I can't think of another spirit, maybe Buffalo Trace, but that's wheated, so where that just happens, and I enjoy it.
I agree.
Really light in color.
It is. Well. It's such an easy sipping bourbon. Like it's just, I think that's the reason why, like I was saying, if you guys haven't seen some of our other stuff, go back and check out some of the stuff that we've done about not reviews, but just how we rank the 10. Just because it is at the price point about $45. It's a great sipping whiskey. And I absolutely love this. I can't say enough great things about it, but I will say what I love with most Russell products that I've had, and Wild Turkey to be on the same thing, it doesn't hit you hard up front, even though because the proof's not that high, but it does stay with you. Like it's one of those ones that even now I can still feel it coating the back of my throat. I can still understand the flavors. I'm still getting smells from it just drinking it. And it's really good on ice. It doesn't dissipate. It has a good enough stronghold that ice doesn't mellow it out too much to where it's not enjoyable.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. The rice spice does come through on the palate, along with like a caramel vanilla bomb,
Hmm.
light cinnamon, and then it finishes almost in that way as well. You get the sweet notes, and then as it comes back on the palate, you get the spicier notes. But
Yeah,
it kind of sticks with you a little bit, and I
I
think that that's
definitely.
why. Or I mean, I'm speaking for you, but I think that's why I can go good on cubes. Because even though if you dilute it a little bit, matter of fact, I'm gonna try it with a little bit of water right now. Um,
Yeah. And while you do that, I mean, one of the things that I love about the finish on this is the finish comes off almost like a creme brulee. So you get that kind of that that nuttiness, that sweetness, that just tang of a creme brulee, and that's what you get with this, and that's what's really amazing to me.
yeah, I was gonna say as soon as I nosed this again, it turned into like baked apples, like cinnamon apples,
Hmm.
which for me is close to like I don't eat a lot of creme brulee, but I know vanilla's in there. Um, yeah, I think that the floral note you were talking about comes through more, but again in a pleasant way, light, super
Hmm.
light.
And I will say, I think the one thing I really love about this too is you're drinking a wild turkey product. It still has that wild turkeyness to it. I don't know how to describe it. It's not a bad thing. It's just I know I'm drinking a wild turkey product. When I If you gave me this in a blind, after a few tastes, not saying I could tell you which one it is all the time, but I could tell you if it's a wild turkey product. It just has a different finish than a Buffalo Trace, Heaven Hill product. It just has a different flavor profile, and the end taste is what really sets it apart.
You know, I wonder, and maybe we should try that. Let us know in the comments if you'd like to see us go through a wild turkey Campari brand uh, blind. I feel confident Russell's wild turkey products. No, that's not even true. Wild turkey 101 for sure. Russell's 10, maybe Russell single barrel, Russell 13. Yes. But if you threw like a rare breed in there, I'm not, I definitely don't drink enough of that to be like, I could pick it out.
I think you'd be surprised. You probably could. The proof is so much higher for those. I think you would be able to, like I said, at the finish, because they all finish the same, but there's slight differences. It's not at the beginning. It's not the nose really. It's not the palate or the feel. It's definitely how it finishes is what I can always tell a slight difference in the Russell products, but I can always tell
Mhm.
it's the Russell product. So, but if you want to know more, you're gonna have to check out the podcast because there are, as Garrett said, some little tidbits, some little nuggets that are going to be on the podcast here tomorrow that I think you'll like.
Till then, doesn't matter if you like it neat, on the rocks, or in a Coke, whiskey happens. Cheers.
Gotta love reviews.